In this video, I'm going to be teaching you and breaking down exactly how I create goals as a life insurance agent and how I actually accomplished it. That actually helped me scale my life insurance business from zero or even negative in $15,000 in debt to making $20,000 to $40,000 per month, like clockwork at 23 years old. So if we haven't met, my name is Johnny Nitafan. Welcome to the channel. So let's just jump right in, right? So how do you how to set goals? This is an interesting question, right? Because the biggest thing is you need to figure out what you got to ask yourself. What do I want, right? What do you want in life? Because the most successful people, one thing I can say of being in rooms with people who are absolutely crushing it in business, a guy that was 23 that I was talking to earlier this weekend, how he's making $450,000 a month, right? The biggest thing that's apparent in the people who I have spoken with, who have actually what they want, and in the way that I was able to transition from making a few $1,000s a month at Starbucks to making 20 to 40,000 a month and making more than most doctors and lawyers do in a year is figuring and getting crystal clear on exactly what do I want. Now, a good thing that actually I love to implement in what I like to how I like to take this is actually starting by what do I not want, right? And so that's very apparent for me, and I just want to share with you exactly how I feel in what I don't want, right? So what I don't want is to have a job, right? I don't want to have a 9 to 5 where I'm stuck in having and forced to go in to build somebody else's dream. Another thing that I want is I want uncapped income, right? So I want to be able to I want it to be to where I take risks along the way, and then what happens is I'm able to have the outsized returns. Another thing that I want is ultimately I want freedom, right? Or what we're starting with what I don't want. So I don't want capped income, right? I want it to be to where I'm able to control my income. Now, I also don't want somebody else to take the risk, and cap my upside, right? So it kind of goes with this capping the income, but I want to be able to if I take risks, right? If I work hard, if I sacrifice for a little amount of time, I want to be able to have all the upside humanly possible. Another thing that I don't want is I don't want a boss, and I don't want like a manager as far as that goes. Like I want to be able to dictate my own schedule. And another thing is I like so these are some things I absolutely do not want, right? And I don't want to be forced to work, right? I want to be able to have a time and life that I can control my income. I can control what I actually want to do, and I can control if I work or don't work, right? And the reality is right now I'm in a stage of building the life that I want. So I really just continue to go after it over and over and over again, and I'm more so like I'm consistently working. Now, then I would say, okay, what do you want, right? You have to ask the question, what do you want? And the more clear that you can get on this right here, the better this will be. So a few questions you want to ask yourself is, what car do I want to drive? House, right? Rooms, square feet, backyard. Is there a pool? Is there a like what do you see, right? Because everybody has these visions, has the goals, and I talk to so many different life insurance agents on a day-to-day basis, and they say I want freedom, but like what does freedom actually look like for you, right? I want you to actually write that down, right? So okay, what does that actually look like? What house do you have? Do you have a family, right? Because that'll dictate the way that you actually build the business that you want, right? So do you have a family? Do you have kids, right? Do you have a wife? What what does this look like, right? And so I want to challenge you to get clear on a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20-year vision, right? Because Elon Musk says the people underestimate what they can do in 10 years, but overestimate what they can do in 6 months. So the key to be able to actually breaking down what you want in life is, one, getting crystal clear, right? And also being able to know what you want, right? Like, know what you want. And the more clear, right? How much, like, even how much money are you making, right? Money a month, money a year, like so on and so forth, right? Like, how much are you working, right? These are questions that you should be asking yourself. And so I want to take you through this little 90-day challenge that I did of, because I was looking over my leaderboard or my vision boards, and I was looking over, okay, last year in September of 2023, I mapped out all these different things, right? I have 6 figures in the bank. I have this, I have that. And what's crazy is as time progressed, as the year progressed, I actually made the mistake of not looking at that constantly over and over and over again and reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? And also another way, and this is what I forgot to say, is what the biggest thing that will help you get to what you want is having or extending the time horizon, right? So I'm not thinking in a month from now, 3 months, five months. Like, I'm thinking like, okay, what do I want in 3 to 5 years? What does that life actually look like? And what's cool is once you get that, the 3 to 5 year goal, or even a year goal, then you backtrack, right? So you take, how I like to look at it is say it's a timeline. So say today is September, and we're going to next year, so 12 months. And this is today. Okay, I know what I want here, right? The money, the life, the feeling, so on and so forth, right? And so then you backtrack, what do I need to hit along these milestones to the day, right? And so, okay, I want to do a month. I want to do, okay, in the next year, what do I want to accomplish? But then I backtrack into, okay, what does the quarters look like, right? So quarters, so every 3 months. What does the the months look like? What do the weeks look like? What do the days look like? And then I map out different inputs, and I map out, okay, what are the inputs that I need to have in my life to be able to get to the outputs that I want, right? So say on this end, the outputs in a year, I want to be making 100K a month, because you're watching this video because you actually want to hit your goals, and you don't have small goals, you have big goals, right? So, okay, I want to be making 100K a month. I want to be able to have a nice BMW, right? We'll say BMW or Mercedes. And I want to have 300K in bank. And what else do I want? I want to have a thriving marriage, right? And disregard the scribbling, right, and the handwriting. I just take the information, the knowledge from here, and apply it, right? I want to have a great marriage, right? I want to have a great relationship with God, right? 5 years, like my goal is to be able to have kids, right? In 3 to 5 years, right? So what does that look like? How many hours am I working? What am I doing, right? And so you got to map this out. Okay, so once we have the outputs, I want to get to in September of 2025, I want to be able to hit 100K in a month. Okay, great. say right now I'm at 20,000 a month. Okay, I'm at 20,000. Would it be reasonable to, in the next 90 days, to hit 30,000? Could I hit 30,000 and every quarter I grow by $20,000 a month, right? So that's just a few, right? Whatever it is, right? You have to map out where you're at right now and how you actually get there, right? So here's what I'm going to do, right? So what I did is I took the outputs of what I want, and again, these are just examples, but for me, it's like, okay, these are the outputs that I want in my life in September of 2025. So I'm going to go on a 90-day sprint, right? And so that's what I actually decided to do, because I believe in 90-day sprints. 90-day sprints can change your life. I love the 75 hard challenge, but it's being able, how I look at it is, I'm not looking to necessarily achieve an outcome. I do love outcomes, right? I do want to achieve, but the thing for me is, okay, I'm thinking on a long time horizon. What are the habits that I can implement right now to this day to be able to get closer to these outputs here, right? So I like to ask myself, what habits, or another question is, what does the life, like the day-to-day schedule, like what does the schedule look like for the person who has this life, right? So what are the habits? What are the characteristics? What are the worldviews? How does this person view life? And how do I get as close as humanly possible to that? In a 90-day sprint, I want to grow in the 4 Ps, right? Or the 4 Fs, right? 4 Fs are faith. Because what good is it to gain the whole world and lose your soul, right? And so it's like, okay, faith, family, fitness, and as you guys can see, okay, finance, right? And as you guys like probably see my Instagram stories, it's like, okay, I'm posting every day, brick by brick, because Rome was not built in one day, right? Rome was built over time, and to be able to get to the physique that I want, to be able to have the bank account that I want, I have to go through a bulking phase, but also a cutting phase, right? And so there's going to be times in life when I have to sacrifice, when I have to push on the gas, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tiring, but it's only for a certain amount of time, right? Even God, the one who created this whole world, even he took rest. And so that's been on my heart. That's been super convicting recently for me. But it's like, okay, faith, what do I want to do? What are the habits that I want? I want to be able to read and pray daily, right? So it's like that's what this person who has this life, for me, that's what that looks like, right? I want to be able to serve in the church. I want to be able to help people genuinely, and really make sure my heart's in the right place. So, okay, faith. Family, what I did is, okay, I'm going to take my wife on dates weekly, right? And honestly, like, this is something I'm still working on, but you have to be intentional. Anything that you want in life has to be intentional. So it's like, okay, for this, I'm going to take my wife on dates weekly. Fitness, I'm going to hit gym 6 times a week. And I'm also going to have a protein goal, right? So 150 to 200 grams of protein. That's what I'm going to be hitting, right? And then finance, it's like, okay, I want, let's just say, for example, I want 100K in bank. And maybe this is way too far out of reach, or maybe you're already at this spot right now. Set it to where it's in a year. If you hit this, you'd be, obviously it's not the end goal, but it's like, if I were to be here, this is what I'd be really happy with of myself, right? So maybe it's 20K, maybe it's 50K, maybe it's even 30K. I don't know, right? Whatever it is for you, actually think about that, right? Because the reality is, to get 100K in the bank in a year from now, all you have to add is an extra $8,000 a month, right? Or $8,300 per month, or let's just call it $8,500. So if you add $8,500 a month on average, you got to be making, I would say, 15 to 15,000, right? And so depends if you're single, if you're married, if you got kids, but it's like, okay, how can I live on as much, like as little to be able to save as much as I can. And so that's where the finance part comes in, right? How much money do I want to be making, right? And the challenge that I want to give you guys watching this video right now is name the sacrifice. And this was so good. I was actually talking to one of the people helping me in my walk with God, because I believe in having a coach and having somebody who's ahead of you in different areas of life. But he said, name the sacrifice, right? And a lot of us are like, okay, it's going to be sacrificial. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. But you don't actually put a name to exactly what you're going to be sacrificing. So you want to name your sacrifice, right? You want to think about, okay, what am I willing and able and cool and going to commit to sacrificing so I can get to my goal, right? For me, that looks like going to sleep early so I could wake up early. I wake up at 5 a.m. pretty much every single day. Now, I don't push myself as hard to do that on Saturdays, but like, you got to name the sacrifice, right? I'm not willing to sacrifice in my relationship with God and my wife. And there's been times that I have, and that hasn't been the what I've wanted to, because there's people that you can listen to on the internet, Alex Hormozy, these big entrepreneurs that are wanting to do massive things, and they're like willing to sacrifice everything, but that's just not what I'm willing to do. I'm not naming that sacrifice, right? When I name my sacrifice, I'm not going to say my future family, right? I'm just not going to say that, right? So you can have both. Maybe you don't go as quick as you want, but there's so much more to life than just the finance. That's 1/4 of it, right? Faith is a quarter, family, fitness, and finance as well, right? Because Warren Buffett's way richer than me, but would I actually trade my position in life with him? I wouldn't, just being honest, right? And the reason for that is because it's like, I don't, even though he's where I want to be financially, maybe, it's not where I want to be physically, family-wise, faith-wise. So it's like, look up to people who you actually want to be with. That's so important, right? So this is exactly how I set goals. And one last thing, because you stayed till the end here, is break down the macro. You want to break the macro down into the micro. So what are the daily things that I can commit to? And what are the habits that I can implement into my life so that I can chip away that it'd be unreasonable to hit my goal? If I work hard every day on the right things, if I make the money that I want to make, if I have the habits in my life that I need to make, right? And I do the things necessary to be able to get to where I want to go, and I learn and go all in and immerse myself in the sales side or the marketing side. If I go super deep into that, I know it'd be unreasonable that I'm not making $50K, $100K a month in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, right? And so it's extending the time horizon, not putting such a hard end date on a goal, but at least that goals are direction, and setting daily commitments to be able to hit the outputs that you want to hit. So if you have to absolutely love this video, drop it in the comments down below what you're going to commit to and name your sacrifice. And if you guys have any questions, just DM me on Instagram at johnny.nitafan. And I hope this video helped you. If you love this video, click this video right here. It'll help you on your next step in accomplishing your dream life. All right, peace.